Hello, friends. Welcome back to our channel, Two Reds, One Pitch. I'm Vineet, a Manchester United fan, and there is Maninder, who is a Liverpool fan. So, Maninder, getting right into it, right? I think what's up with Liverpool football team, right? They're looking as damsel in distress, and a 16-year-old kid had to rescue them at Newcastle. That was a pretty exciting game, to be honest.
That was indeed, and there is other way of looking at it is that the stuff of fairy tales, that stuff of dreams, that a 16-year-old coming in from the bench on a match that we should have won easily, and we were almost
Yeah,
on the verge of losing, but then he coming on and probably scoring with his first meaningful touch there. So it's a stuff of
yeah,
dreams, but yes, I agree that was one brutal match, and Newcastle United actually pegged us back with one man down, 2 goals down. If that performance was at Enfield, I would have been just going gaga over that match for almost a year. So I can understand why Newcastle fans are very excited about that match, but we played shit as well. So we were not up to it. I think the physical aspect of the game from our starting 11 is something that Slot has to start thinking about, because it looks like when the match gets physical, our players tend to struggle. But then playing Newcastle at St James Park is anyways not an easy game. I would give that as well. So
agreed.
any team would struggle there, but I'm glad that we came out of it with 3 points. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and that's where what the 16-year-old kid Rio did was really exceptional. And I can't say anything bad about the kid. It's a fairy tale for him for sure. If there would have been somebody else, they may say, hey, is it Makeda moment? Well, I hope not for his sake, right? Even if I don't want Liverpool to do well, but still.
Yeah.
You know what? We kind of criticized VAR. I think VAR came to your rescue. I don't think Anthony Gordon should have been sent off. I know it was
Really?
reckless. I know it was reckless, but if you look at it, he was trying to stop himself, and I know the momentum took him there, and it just kind of a little bit of a toe on the calf. I'm pretty sure Van Dijk is a grown-up man. He shouldn't be rolling around and crying
Yeah.
for sure.
What are you smoking, Vineet? I would like to have that. If that's not a red card, then we really do not know what red card is. That was reckless. That was forceful. That was right up his
Yeah.
calf, and he had a
No.
clear stamp on. I don't know if you have seen that image or not, but there was a clear stamp on his calf, and it was I that was stone wall red all day long.
Do you remember what Carragher did to Nani?
That was stone wall red
Like
as well.
I,
I agree. I agree.
oh my god! But there was not even a yellow. I think, if my memory serves
I
me
think it
right.
was.
Oh,
I think
come
it was
on,
given yellow. I
as
don't know.
as in just
He cut him.
you,
He
you know
cut him
the
apart. I
problem.
agree. That was a red as well. But
Yeah,
then we can
you
go
know,
back and have these kind of instances and bring them back from memory and then talk about that. But VR did his job. I agree. But what was surprising was that the referee on the ground actually showed a yellow, and he did not see that. We will. The referee rant is for probably some other day. I think the reason why Gordon got that red card was because the ref allowed the game to reach that level wherein a player can go and try to hurt another player. He could have
and
handled
that
the
is
game.
where my problem is.
Yeah.
That is where my problem is. The referees have been told to have a higher threshold of tolerance, right? But it seems VAR doesn't. So I don't know what's up with it. But having said that, you have to give some credit to Newcastle. With 10 men, they played really well.
Some I am
And
I am willing to give all the credit to them. They actually battered us. We were not at the
yeah,
races, regardless of what Slot said that it was just the long balls and the free kicks. And then I think there's a stat which says that the ball was
what's
in
lot
play.
smoking?
And there's actually a stat which says that the ball was in play only for 40% of the time for the whole match, which is the lowest recorded so far. But going down to a
Yeah,
10 men, I think that's a tactic that any team would.
because your goalkeeper was taking ages to get the ball back into play. That's the reason why it was only 40% of time in the
It was
game.
from both ends, because they were so physical that we
Oh,
had to
absolutely not.
calm the game down. We had to calm the atmosphere down. But regardless, having said that, coming back to the whole Rio point, I think that actually also highlights the reason why we are chasing another body in the attacking front, because
Chasing another body, say you're chasing Isak. You be pretty open about it.
we are
Tapping up, you're tapping him up.
yeah, if that's called tapping up, then Real Madrid should be banned. But that's okay. That's for another day. But that actually highlights that we definitely need another striker, because we have
Yeah.
lost Darwin Nunes, we have lost Diaz, and we have also lost Jota on to a tragic incident. Three players went out, and we only have gotten one, which is Ekitike. So we definitely are short there, and that's why we need a player who is going straight into the 11, and that's where this whole Isak conversation is coming in. So this is the last
Yeah,
week of the transfer window. I hope, honestly,
yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this whole saga. I just want the transfer window to shut, the decision to be taken one way or another. But it has gone to an extent that it has become so boring that the people in the know-how, they are just trying to sell the same information again, wrapped in a different wording or a different
Agreed.
articulation. It's just
Absolutely. It,
gone.
it is so
Yeah,
boring now. Yeah.
it has just become so mundane now. But hoping that we
Yes.
will see the
Agreed.
closure this week.
Yeah, but to be honest, your Ekitike is doing really
Oh,
well.
he
As
is.
in, he's taking his goals well. But coming back to Isak, I don't know what's he about, right? Broken promises. It seems like the saga can be built as a Netflix documentary for sure.
Yeah, Isak has not been advised good, I would say. He could have
Yeah,
handled this in a there are two ways of handling the situation. He took the wrong choice. Let's agree on that at least. Having said that, I think a large part of this blame also lies on Newcastle United. They can go crying, but the complete blame actually lies on Newcastle and how they are managing their club right now. So it actually shows that, as people say, money can't buy class, but in their case, they apparently they cannot even buy a decent number 9 replacement. They have no structure. They have no not.
yeah,
It has been a shambolic transfer window to them. We discussed that in our previous
absolutely. I agree to
previous
that.
window as well. They can cry all they want about PSR, but it would be more delusional rather than reality. It has nothing to do with PSR. It has all been their own doing.
And I'm a little bit divided. It for me, it's a dichotomy. On one part, they're not able to sign anybody, right? Anybody they go on to
Yeah.
sign,
See, it's
that
it's
player
it's
signs for
it's very
another club.
difficult to be rich and rubbish at
But
the same time.
yeah, you're absolutely right. But on the second side, I have more than a little bit respect for Newcastle on how they have been pretty adamant with Isak. I still think Isak will go to Liverpool, but they're going to kind of grind it down, and it's not looking good for Newcastle also because they're not able to sign. I would have preferred if Newcastle would have signed a couple of players, and then they would have kind of kept Isak hanging till the 31st or end of transfer
Yeah.
window. But again, I think Isak will join Liverpool, and you will have your way again. Isak to Liverpool seems almost a given, but Newcastle are still kind of holding all the cards with Isak's 3-year contract. We'll close the video here. So everybody watching, put in your comments, what do you think? Is Isak right? Is Liverpool going to get him, or is Newcastle going to lose out on another player?